Every single command you run in Bash has 3 channels. Standard input on file descriptor 0, standard output on file descriptor 1, and standard error on file descriptor 2. When you run map and it prints scan results, those go to stdout. When it warns you a host is unreachable, that goes to stderr. Both show up on your terminal by default, but they are completely separate streams. And separating them properly is one of the most important skills in security scripting. Let's start with output redirection. The greater than operator sends stdout to a file. So map-st target greater than results.txt captures your scan. Simple. But here is where people get burned, that operator overwrites the file. If results.txt already had data from a previous scan, it is gone. Use double greater than to append instead. In forensics and incident response, this distinction matters. You are collecting evidence. Accidentally overwriting a log file with a single character mistake is a bad day. My rule: if you are writing to any file that accumulates data over time, always use append. Now stderr. The 2 greater than operator redirects only error messages. So you can write map target greater than results.txt to greater than errors.txt. Now scan output goes to one file, and any warnings or failures go to another. This is the pattern I use for overnight scans. When I check results in the morning, I look at the clean results file first. If something looks wrong, I check the errors file. No digging through interleaved output trying to figure out which lines are warnings and which are data. Sometimes you want both streams in the same file. This is where the ordering trap comes in, and I see experienced engineers get this wrong. Compare these 2 lines. First, command 2&1 greater than output.log. Second, command greater than output.log 2&1. They look almost the same but do completely different things. The shell processes redirections left to right. In the first line, 2&1 says copy stderr to wherever stdout currently points. Right now, stdout still points at the terminal. Then the greater than sends stdout to the file. But stderr is already locked to the terminal. In the second line, stdout goes to the file first. Then 2&1 copies that file destination to stderr. Both end up in the file. The correct order is always redirect stdout first, then redirect stderr to match. Pipes connect one command's output directly to the next command's input. This is how you build analysis chains. Here is a real example: grep space 401 space access.log, pipe to awk print $1, pipe to sort, pipe to unic-c, pipe to sort-rn, pipe to head-10. That is 6 commands. Grep filters your web server log to only 401 unauthorized responses. Awk extracts the IP address from each line. Sort groups identical IPs together because unic only works on adjacent lines. Unic-c counts how many times each IP appears. Sort-rn puts the highest counts first. Head takes the top 10. You just identified your most persistent unauthorized access attempts in a single pipeline. No intermediate files. Constant memory usage regardless of log size because each stage streams data to the next. Input redirection with the less than operator feeds a file into a command stdin. Here is why this matters more than it seems. Say you are processing a list of suspicious IPs. You might write cat suspicious_ips.txt pipe while read IP. That works, but the pipe creates a subshell for the while loop. Any variables you set inside the loop vanish when the loop ends. Instead, write while read IP, then your loop body, then done less than suspicious_ips.txt. The less than feeds the file directly into the loop without a subshell. Variables survive. This bug has confused people for decades. One more critical setting. Add set-eo pipefail at the top of every security script. By default, a pipeline's exit status comes from the last command only. If grep finds nothing and exits with code 1, but the next command in the pipe exits 0, your script thinks everything is fine. Pipefail changes this so the pipeline fails if any stage fails. In security work, a scan that returns 0 results and a scan that crashed silently look the same without pipefail. Do not ship scripts without it. Tomorrow is practice day. We will take everything from this week, variables, loops, functions, and today's redirection, and build complete security tools. If you are following along, try building a log analysis pipeline using pipes before the next video. Start with a log file, chain 3 or 4 commands together, and see what patterns fall out. See you in day 7.